let's go through Likert 399 evaluation divisions. So it gives us a list of these string equations and also double values. And for every equation, for example, AB, we have A divided by B equals the value, for example, 2.0. So that means the equation's size will be the same as the value length. And also it says that because this equation, there is no contradict. And it gives us a list of this string query. And let's return the query result. For every query, it have a double result. So it will be a double array for the result. So for this question, we'll see it has a length to be 20. So that means those kind of values, or we'll say a vertex, the different strings can be no more than 40. So there are a lot of ways to do this question. For example, we can use union find, but the union find, it is we need some kind of weight or calculations that those kind of orders is a bit tricky. And also we can have a DFS plus memo to do this question as well. But for this question, actually, I'm just select one of the way, which is not prompt to be make errors, which is called a floyd warshall. And the floyd warshall, we know that is we iterate two edges and then iterate the third vertex. We iterate two vertex and iterate as third vertex, trying to see, for example, the vertex A and B, and if we find a C, get A to C plus C to B small equal to A to B, then we update to the A to B. For this one, it is not smaller, right? We just set, for example, the initial value to be negative 1.0. What we do is that if we calculate a value from A to C, and we have A to C values, which is not a negative 1 to 1.0, and C to B is not a negative 1.0, then we are able to calculate A to B, right? And also this question guarantees there is no contradict. So we just need to update our results. So let's record for this. First thing is that we can convert those kind of strings into index. So I'm going to use a map. And I'm going to have a int n equals, we are going to create adjacent matrix because this is quite small. So the worst case is that there are index to 40, right? So we have 40 multiplied 40 should be it should be good. So what we do is that I'm going to use a list of string equation of equations. I'm going to change this one for every string as an equation. You're going to have a if map doesn't contains contains key as, then what we have is put map put as n plus plus. Okay. So we for every strings in the equation list, for example A B, we have an index with them, right? Then we're going to have called D array, whatever. D array, D distance. Um, Florida, you can call it distance, right? Florida warshall, that is a distance array, right? So we can also use a new double by multiple by right? So initial value, we can do this for int I equals to 0, I smaller than n, I plus plus. For int j equals 0, j is smaller than n, j plus plus. So we'll have a di j equals I equals j, then that is 1.0. Otherwise, it will be negative 1.0. Okay. So now let's based on the doubles value to set those kind of initial value first. So what we do is set um, for int. So for we need a int I equals 0, I smaller than equations size. I plus plus. So we'll see we get its index. So we'll have u equals map because we initially we set those constraints to map. So here we don't need to check if map contains key or not. It will always be in there because of our processing add every strings to it, right? So equations. But in our query, it doesn't guarantee the query string exists in our maps. Then we'll have some check first. Equation get I get 0 I. So we'll have this, and we'll have u and v, right? V should be get 1. And then what we do is that we're going to have d u v equals the values I, right? And the d v u equals 1.0 divided by values. Right. So then what we do is that the Florida washer is that we use a 3 for loops, right? So for int I equals 0. So so let me we should the outer will be the third vertex. Florida washout, the outer will be the third vertex, right? We update ij inside. So we'll say k smaller than n, k plus plus, and for int I equals 0, I smaller than n, I plus plus. For int j equals 0, b smaller than n, j plus plus. Then what we do is that we'll have if dij equals negative 1.0 and dik down equal to negative 1.0, right? And dkj doesn't equal to negative 1.0. Then we're going to update the ij equals dik multiplied by dkj, right? Then we need to check our results. So that is so we are going to have um, into Q equals queries of size. Then in double result equals new double Q, right? So we are going to use for int I equals to 0, I smaller than Q, I plus plus. Then we're going to have string s1 equals queries get I get 0, and s2 equals queries get I get 1, right? So here it is possible the map doesn't contain this string. So I say if map contains doesn't contain key s1 or map doesn't contains key s2, right? In this case, we'll have result I equals negative 1.0, right? Else we'll get u into u equals map get s1 v equals map dot get s2, right? Then result I equals d u v, and return result. uh, if if equals, and this should be this. Okay, doing like this, the time complexity, we'll see, it will be vertex, O vertex 3, right? Um, should be O vertex power 3. So because there's three for the loops, right? So that will be O n cubic, right? But this one has the vertex has the worst case is only 40, so it's we can do this approach, right? And space will be O n square, and also we can the Python code is very similar. Um, let's write Python code quickly. So what we have is we need a let's put a map first. Okay, called vmap equals this, and can have n equals 0. Okay, so for equation and equations, we're going to have for way in equation. So we'll say if v not in v map, then we're going to have v map v equals n, right? And we also n plus 21. And So what we are going to have d array equals you have negative 1.0 right? For n for in range n, and then we are going to set for I in range n, we're going to have d I equals 1.0. Okay, so then we are going to have for I u wave in enumerate enumerate these kind of equations. We're going to have u let's say this is S1, okay, S1, S2. So U equals V map S1 and U V right equals V map S2. Okay. So we'll say D U V equals values and D V U equals 1.0 divided by values r. Okay. So this is one. Then we do the Floyd warshall mechanism. The order matters. So what is for K in range A, um, for I in range A, for J, um, in range A. We're going to have if Dij is equals to one negative 1.0 didn't calculate, and Dik doesn't equal to negative 1.0, and the Dkj doesn't equal to negative 1.0, right? Then we'll have Dij, the update to be Dik multiplied by Dkj. Then we are going to for our result, right? So we're going to have result equals this. Then for query in queries, we are going to have uh, um, S1, S2 equals query. Okay. So if S1 not in VMap or S2 not in VMap, right? Then we're going to result to the append negative 1.0. Otherwise, else we'll have U V equals V map S1, V map S2, right? So results should append D U V. So in the end, we return result. D equals list assign auto range. List assign index of range is 0. Misassignment index out of range. Equals 0 for equations way equation for way not in this map should equals equals this one should multiply a nice